Geography is destiny. For decades, we believed that technology and the internet would erase the significance of physical borders, creating a seamless, globalized world. We were told that the distance between New York and Tokyo was shrinking, and that the friction of the physical world was becoming a relic of the past. But look around. The world is not coming together. It is pulling apart. We are entering an era where the lines on the map, the mountains, the oceans, and the choke points, matter more than they have in a century. This is the story of the new fracture. To understand why the world is breaking, we first have to look at the era of the flat world. Following the collapse of the Soviet Union, the United States became the sole guarantor of global trade. The U.S. Navy patrolled the high seas, ensuring that any ship from any nation could carry goods anywhere without fear of piracy or state-sponsored seizure. This security umbrella allowed for the most complex supply chains in human history. Your smartphone isn't made in one country. Its components cross borders dozens of times before it reaches your pocket. This was the peak of globalization, a time when efficiency was the only metric that mattered. But efficiency is fragile. We built a world that was just in time, and we forgot about just in case. The cracks started appearing long before the recent global shocks. They began with the realization that geography cannot be ignored. Nations like China, Russia, and Iran began to view the US-led order not as a neutral platform for trade, but as a strategic constraint. For China, the first island chain, a string of US-aligned territories including Japan, Taiwan, and the Philippines, is a geographic wall that blocks their access to the open Pacific. No amount of digital connectivity can change the fact that their energy and trade must pass through the narrow Strait of Malacca, a geographic choke point that can be closed in an instant. As trust between major powers erodes, the global map is being redrawn into regional blocks. We are seeing a transition from globalization to friendshoring. It is no longer about finding the cheapest place to build a factory. It is about finding the safest place. Geography is reasserting itself as the primary driver of national policy. The United States is looking inward, leveraging its massive domestic market and energy independence. Europe is scrambling to secure new energy corridors that bypass the vast plains of Eurasia. Meanwhile, the global south is navigating a landscape where they must choose between competing technological and economic spheres. The most dangerous friction points are the ones where geography and politics collide. The South China Sea, the Suwalki Gap in Eastern Europe, and the Bab el-Mandeb Strait off the coast of Yemen. These are not just names on a map. They are the pressure points of the modern world. If any of these valves are closed, the seamless global economy grinds to a halt. We saw a glimpse of this when a single ship blocked the Suez Canal, costing the global economy billions every hour. It was a reminder that for all our satellites and fiber optic cables, our civilization still runs on physical goods moving through physical spaces. This fracture is also happening within nations. The divide between connected coastal cities and isolated interiors is widening. Geography creates different economic realities, and those realities lead to different political identities. The people who benefit from global flows are increasingly separated from those who live in the geographic hinterlands. This internal fracturing makes it even harder for nations to project power or maintain a unified front on the world stage. As we move deeper into this decade, the illusion of a borderless world will continue to fade. We are returning to a world defined by geographic reality, by the need for secure borders, reliable energy, and resilient supply chains. The end of history has ended, and geography has returned with a vengeance. The map is no longer just a background, it is the protagonist of the 21st century. For KyneAndCo, this is the reality we must face. The world isn't getting smaller, it's getting more complicated. The invisible borders are becoming visible again, and the choices we make today will determine which side of the fracture we end up on. Understanding the map is no longer an academic exercise. It is a necessity for survival in a world that is pulling apart at the seams. History is moving again, and it's following the contours of the Earth. In this new era, the most important question isn't how fast we can communicate, but how well we can navigate the physical world that we once thought we had conquered. Welcome to the age of the Great Fracture. The map is being rewritten, and the stakes have never been higher. The world is changing, and geography is once again the ultimate decider of our collective fate.